All right, folks, here we are for another session of Off the Grid. I want to welcome my next guest. He's a dope MC, a dope producer, a sound engineer, a videographer, and he calls Fort Wayne, Indiana home. He's got a unique sound, and I think he is a super gifted storyteller. I wanted to welcome Cola Zone to the show. Hey, thank you for doing the session
What's
with
up?
me.
What's
How are
up?
you?
What's up, man? I'm good, doing good, man. Doing real good. Glad to be here, man. Glad you invited me on here, man. It's
Yeah,
right on
thank you, man. I told you, man, when I discovered your music after a single that I want to talk about later on in the interview called Voltage. But I want to take you back all the way to the start. Hey, I want to know where you were born and how long you've been doing music and what kind of exposure did you have to music back in the day? What kind of music were your parents playing when you were young?
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll let you know. Um, I'm from yeah. You said Fort. You said you want to know where I'm from. Born in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Okay.
Raised here all my life. I started doing music like way. I'll say I've been doing music for man. I used to keep track of it. I think it's like I honestly think it's like 25 years.
Oh wow,
25
nice,
years since I know the years since like 1998, 97. I
nice,
started like really trying to rapping a little bit. I say 1999, I bought my first piece of equipment from
nice.
Sweetwater. That's when I really started going into producing. But like whenever like Wu-Tang Forever came out, that was like when I first really started. And that was like around 99, 2000. I know that was like right before I went to high school. So that was around, maybe around 98, I started writing lyrics. And then like a year later, I started like trying to get into the avenues of producing because the sound I was looking for, it wasn't a lot of producers in my
Ah,
city that was going. And then even the producers that were in my city, it wasn't it wasn't like East Coast. I love East Coast music, so it didn't have
okay.
like that sample base. It was more of like a West Coast or Midwest feel, like a twisted feel, which I like that shit too. I love that shit. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? That's like where I'm from. You know what I mean? But the vibe I was going for was more like the sample base, the boom bap.
Yeah, and I thought you were from Chicago too, and so yeah, and then I tripped out when I found out you were Fort Wayne, and part of that scene too with Sankofa. So that was an awesome, pleasant surprise, man. I love it, man. And what was your first exposure to rap music? Was it the Wu Tang Clan, or were you listening to stuff way before that?
Uh well, actually, I've been listening to hip hop like that whole type of since I was a kid.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
started off like listening to like, I mean, back in the day, what they had like tag team, whoop there. I mean, that's like little kid
Yep.
stuff. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
the first one, the first like thing that I gravitated towards was probably like that Method Man METHOD man. You know
Oh
that Method
yeah.
Man,
The
that
Tical
song. When
album.
I remember seeing that vividly I remember the first time I seen it, I was at my grandma's house. She had a floor model TV. I was sitting on the couch, and I think I was supposed to be at school that day, but I played sick or something. And it came on like something on BT, one of them channels, and I seen it, and I was like, man, this is like forget the party music, forget all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I started gravitating towards that, and then of course, like Rap City, and all, I started getting into Rap
Yeah.
City. You know what I'm saying? I like the DJ Premier Nas, of course.
Yep.
Love Nas. I always love Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I could see
I
that
remember seeing an
comparison, man.
actual. I remember hearing the purple tape for the first time. Like my brother Fran actually had the purple tape, and he brought
Yeah.
it to our house. He lived down the street, and I remember hearing that thing, seeing that thing, man. And that thing was like that was like after the purple tape because I. After the purple tape, I started buying the stuff. Somehow,
Yep.
because before then I was just watching it on TV. But I started buying the stuff after that. Like I was like in middle school, like listening to
Yeah.
Old Dirty Bastard and Raekwon. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I was like Ghostface, you know what I'm saying? Like everything. Like back then, like that's all I listened to was just
Yeah.
like Wu-Tang or East Coast associate, some affiliated in that culture. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love like Tribe, Brand Nubian,
Yep.
Far Side, Beat Nuts. A lot of
Yeah.
people forget about the
Oh,
Beat
nice.
Nuts. The Beat Nuts, like they inspired me on producing. Like the
Oh,
Beat Nuts
wow.
is like crazy. With Psycho Les, is that the dude who make the beats?
Yep.
One of the man, that dude is he up there to like he's up there with like Premiere to me. Like
Yeah,
when it comes to like
absolutely.
Alchemist, like when it comes to like chopping samples, like he's top tier. You know what I'm saying? In his
Yeah.
drums and shit, like he's completely. I'm not gonna say he slept on, but I know around here I don't hear a lot of people talking
Yeah.
about him. You know what I mean?
No, that's a
I
good
know he's
point.
known.
Yeah, and so and you mentioned both producing and rapping. It was rapping first that you wanted to do, What was like the event that said that, hey, I'm gonna start trying to write some lyrics, man? What was that thing that got you motivated to try to start writing lyrics?
Actually, it was my mom worked a lot, and
Okay.
you know, she's like a single mother, you know what I mean? So I still like had a relationship with my dad, you know.
Okay.
But she was at work a lot, and I was always at home, and we couldn't really, you know what I mean? So I had to find something productive to do,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Without getting into trouble, you know what I mean? So like picking up the pen and just writing lyrics and stuff, man, that kept me motivated. It was like it gave me a way out. It gave me escape without having to escape, or like being able to, I traveled writing without having to go outside. I mean, I went outside and played, don't get me wrong. I
Right.
wasn't
Right.
like a
Right.
prisoner or nothing, you know what I mean? But it gave me like, because we had moved into a different neighborhood around that time. So it's like I didn't really know a lot of people around the neighborhood. Let's say stayed across the street. You know what I mean? I didn't have a lot of friends around the neighborhood, like at least after school hours. Like in
Yeah.
school we kicked, you know what I mean? But after school it was just like it was nothing but like old people living on the street. You know what I mean? So it just kept me content, and it kept
Okay.
me motivated. And my brother, I have an older brother. He's like he's actually like a real artist. Like he draws, and like he's really really great. Like
Yeah.
he's great. You know what I mean? And I tried. That's his thing. You all right? And I tried drawing, and I wasn't as talented as him. You know, I didn't get that gift. You know what I'm saying? So I gravitated towards another type of art form. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So I
Sure.
was like, you know what? All right. You know, I love drawing, but I'm just like, this not. I knew at an early age that wasn't my calling. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't me. You know. So I tried to pick up the pen. Like, all right, I'm writing. You know, I like to just feel good. You know, it was
Yeah.
fun. You know. I love doing it, you know. And then it exceeded to a point where I was like, all right, what am I gonna do next? You know, after I got all these garbage bags full of lyrics off
Man.
writing off like Wu-Tang Forever albums, like Nas albums, you know, because I love the
Yeah.
beats, you know. The beats was just amazing. The beats made me
Yeah.
write, you know. And then I hooked up with a few other people here locally doing that. HQ, he was a producer. He was around my age. Only dude I know growing up, like in the eighth grade or whatever, ninth grade, had a beat
Yeah.
machine, you know.
Right.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's like rare, you know what I mean?
You're
So
right.
and so I started hanging around him because I was back then where like if you didn't have a beat machine, you didn't make beats. Like
Yeah.
all this
How
stuff on the
I don't know
computer
how
did
else
not
you would.
exist. Fruity Loops, like acid, like all that stuff that did not even exist. Like
Right.
if you
When we were
made,
kids.
yeah, you had hardware.
Yeah.
You had like keyboards. Like it was like you could not phones weren't even around. You know
That's
what
a
I
good.
mean?
That's a good
So
point, man. Yeah. Like
yeah,
back
and
then,
it
that.
kind of weeded out. Yeah, you had to be serious. It weeded out. Like, you know, if you're gonna be a producer and make beats, it's not gonna be easy. If you, it's not because this stuff ain't cheap. It wasn't
Right.
cheap
Right.
back then.
Back
You
then
know what I'm
too.
saying?
Woo. Yeah. Impossible to buy.
Yeah, especially for a kid, you know,
Yeah.
high school kid to get a hold of one of
Exactly.
these. It wasn't like, you know, using your mom phone and downloading a $5 app. You see what I'm saying? Like it's hundreds of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like my first keyboard I bought from Sweetwater, it was like a demo unit. It was like the last one, like it was already out. And I
That's a
paid
good
like
point.
700 and some dollars for that when I was like 16, 15. That was like $1 million. But I worked the
Yeah.
whole summer.
That's
I worked
right.
the whole summer. Yeah, that was like $1 million. Look, I don't even know. That let me know like I'm at an older age right now. Like I was really dedicated. Like
Yeah.
I worked the whole summer, walked to the bus stop, caught the bus, got on another bus, went to work at Myers for the whole summer, direct deposit. In the summer, I had enough money to buy the keyboards. Like, yo, mom, take me to Sweetwater. I'll buy the
Yeah.
beat machine. I wanted to get like a sampling machine, but they
Uh-huh.
didn't have one. The one I wanted was like a Yamaha. It was like a SU 700. I know you remember them joints. It was
Man,
like the
old
blue one. It
school.
was almost like an MPC,
Yep.
kind of, but it wasn't. I was gonna get one of them. They were sold out. So like I'm a kid. I was like,
Man.
man, I'm not leaving here with nothing. So I was like, man,
Right.
what's this? Yeah, I
I'm
was like,
taking something
I
home.
gotta get something. I gotta get
Yeah.
something. I was like, what's this? And they showed me around like we got this. And then actually the person there told me the beat machine didn't even loop. So I was like, it don't loop, and I still bought it, but it looped though. Obviously the
Ah,
person didn't. Yeah, you know, I mean, Sweetwater's a great place, but that person just was like, yeah, I
you
don't know if
said
that was
no.
their department that day or not. So I bought it anyway, got that, and then I was like, I couldn't sample on it, so I ended up getting I bought an SP202, the
Okay.
202, the old joint. Like
Oh
I wish
man.
I would have kept it. Like that thing is
Oh,
so
that would have
rare
been
now.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, with the like the old RAM cards,
Yep.
like the old, it looked like a PlayStation memory card, kind of like it looked like a super small floppy disk.
Man.
excuse me, I bought one of those, start sampling. I MIDI'd that up, like, cause I've been MIDIing keyboards and samplers like since I was like 16, 17.
Man.
Like when I first bought my first MPC, I read the whole manual in a day at work. Like,
Yeah.
like yeah, because that was the only way. It
Yeah.
wasn't. This back when it wasn't tutorials on YouTube on how to use it.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good point too, man. So you're right. When we were kids in the 90s, it was hard to buy that stuff because you don't have the apps like today where you can just buy it for a couple bucks. And you started rapping. And so did you start making beats because it was also hard to find instrumentals back in the day too? You couldn't
Yeah.
really
Oh, I had
access those.
records. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's another thing. I was lucky. Let me tell you about the record story. All right.
Yeah.
I got lucked out because I had an aunt and she moved or something. She had a whole bunch of stuff, and she just like for somehow her records got in our attic, and they were
Okay.
sitting there. This is before I even thought about like making producing,
Right.
So I started getting into producing, and I figured out that they was like using records. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I got like 3 crates upstairs. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot, but I had like 3 crates
Yeah.
upstairs. So I started off with that. I had got like a little cheap turntable, or maybe my mom had a turntable or something.
That's
But I
crazy,
started off
man.
with that. And then like it was just like ever since then, I sampled them crates, man, and ran through them crates, man, so many times. And then I used to go to the library. I think I used to rent CDs. Our library here used to be able to remember, used to be able to rent. I don't know if you can still
Music,
do, but you
yeah.
could rent CDs from the library. I
That's
used to go
right.
there and rent CDs from the library, like classical stuff, like
Yeah.
Mozart stuff, or I just go to Target or actually buy the CD of
Yep.
like some Mozart or something, then hook it
Yeah.
up to the CD deck player and then like sample it from there. Because there was no YouTube.
Yeah. That's
Like right
right.
now, like you can get everything off YouTube. You know what I mean?
No, that's right. And like, how did you teach yourself back then? We didn't have access to producers. Were you just experimenting when you made these beats, or man, it had to be
Oh,
tough?
yeah. You know what? It's crazy. I was experimenting. My buddy that produced, who I knew, my homeboy HQ, he told me, look, he told me how to count bars. He told me most beats are in 4/4.
Right.
And he knew this like in 8th grade. And he got older because it's
That's
like a peer
crazy.
thing. He got older because, but he had family members that were producing that were older than
Okay.
him that taught
Fair.
him the knowledge.
Fair
He had
enough.
an older cousin named D Flow. You know what I'm saying? And D Flow, like, man, he went to D Flow crib, man. He had like all type of, he had the 808, he had like the Phantoms, he had like, he had excessive stuff, sometimes double of shit. Like, hey, man, this is like overkill. You know what I mean? So he kind of was raised on that because his older cousin and he kind of passed the knowledge down to me. And then when I started rapping and something, I had another cousin that rapped. He didn't know I rapped, and then when he found out I rap, I got plugged into one of his homeboys that makes beats. I
Ah,
don't know if you heard him. You ever heard of a producer from Atlanta called Illustrate?
I have. Wow.
He's from
That.
Fort Wayne. He's from
Oh
Fort Wayne.
man.
That's the other. He was the only. Yeah, it's crazy. He was the only. When I met him, he was the only person in Fort Wayne that was making beats like Havoc.
Oh
And yeah,
man, that's dope.
sampling. And we didn't know each other until we were like, I'll say I was like in senior or 11th grade.
Small world.
He was out of school, because he's a little bit older than me. But
Right.
after I started getting into it, my older cousin introduced me to him. And then he was like,
Ah,
oh man, you sample? Like, I let him borrow my keyboard. He had let me borrow some of his equipment, you know what I mean, for a little while. But yeah, he was like the only dude back then that was like doing the same lane locally that I
I
was trying to
gotcha.
do. Because if you listen to his stuff, it's like heavy, like Pete Rock
That's
type of,
right.
like straight up. Like that dude is, and I remember when he left, he was like, man, you should move down to Atlanta, man. I'm like, man, but hey,
You're still a
probably
kid,
should have
yeah.
went. But yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? But Illustrate, shout out to Illustrate. I learned a lot from him. It's another
Oh,
dude
that's
named
really
DJ
cool,
Twitch.
man.
But yeah. So it kind of intertwines. The scene intertwines,
Yeah, and again that's a good point, man. Because the scene, man, and I mentioned Sankofa's from Fort Wayne, and so
Yeah,
just all the connections, man, that connected me to
yeah,
you
Sankofa too.
to lead to this day is it's amazing. The world is small, man. And so when you got into it and you started developing your game as a rapper and producer, what what name did you start with? Did
Oh
you?
man. Oh man.
Yeah,
It's
like how
all
many
right, all
different
right. I'm
names
gonna
did you
tell
go
you the
through?
name. I'm gonna tell you the name. The name thing is crazy because it happened unintentionally. It didn't make sense.
Hmm.
afterwards. It was like almost given to me without me picking it, kind of. And I didn't understand it till later. Look, because I wanted, like, I was talking to my older brother, right? We were trying to come up with a rap name. My brother was like, what
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Corleone? My brother was like, what about Corleone? I was like, man, that sound like a mob. He was like, man, that sound like some type of mob
The
boss, man.
gangster, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Italian
like,
mobster.
man, like, I don't know about no Corleone. So and then we was talking, and then I thought about it, and then I don't know how I got on Cola Zone, right? I was like, all right, yeah, Cola Zone, Cola Zone. I kind of like that. And then later on, a buddy of mine was like, because I always read like on like religions and spirituality and like angels and
Yeah.
and he was like, hey, that's an angel name. Colazonta was an angel. He was like the chastiser. He was like the angel of destruction. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like he was like, I always felt like I took that described me without me knowing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I picked the name without knowing the name meant something deeper than what the name. You see what I'm saying?
Oh man, so Cola Zone came before you found out it was the angel of madness, havoc, and destruction.
Yes, because
That is
it was
that is pretty
Colazonta.
crazy, man.
It's Colazonta, but
That's
it was
right.
spelled with the K. That
Yep.
angel spelled his name with a K. It
Yeah.
was Colazonta. You know what I'm saying? And mine is with
That
a
is
C.
wild.
That is wild, man.
Yeah.
That is
Because
that is
I saw
wild.
the
So I was
story.
like,
I thought you picked it because of the angel, but you didn't.
yeah, I was like, and I always felt that. You know what I mean? Like a lot
Yeah.
of my music is really it's really serious and it has substance to it. And it's kind
Yeah.
of like I'm not judgmental, but I am kind of like I do have that chastiser type of, I'm gonna talk to you about some real
Yeah.
stuff and you're gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I was like, man, that's kind of wild. I was like, yo, I gotta stay. I can't give it up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
change
Right.
it now. You know what I mean? So
That
I was
is
like, you
cool,
know
man.
what? I'm just gonna. I didn't even pick the name. It was like given to me. You know what I
Hey,
mean? So I was like, yo,
the
I'm just
world
gonna
works in
roll with it.
mysterious ways, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
and
yeah.
it's always been Cola Zone. You didn't go through any other different names.
No, no, I
Man,
didn't.
that's
No,
cool.
that's the only because in high school they always called me Cola Z, and then that everybody started calling me. I'm like, man, I can't change. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not changing my name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
So,
where did that come from? Where did Cola Z come from?
oh, just Cola Z just came from Cola Zone, just because they were just doing short names. You know what I mean? Cola
Okay.
Z, like my homeboys
Man.
call me, oh, Cola Z, CZ. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Zonta. You know what I mean? Like they,
That's
you know.
wild, man.
Yeah, so I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna run. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
run with Cola Zone. You know what I'm saying? Even though
Yeah.
it almost sound like cow zone, the sandwich thing. I was like, because a few times I'm like, man, that sound like a cow zone. Some people are like, man, what's that? You like a sandwich? Cow zone, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I kept it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I ran with it, and then I looked it up.
Yes.
Nobody else had it, so
Yeah. No, that's interesting. I always thought, when I did the research on you, I just thought it was you picked it because of the angel, but I didn't know that it just kind of fell into place like that. I thought that's really cool, man.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so how was the Indiana scene in terms of you becoming a rapper? Were they welcoming? Or was it difficult? Did you have to earn your stripes and perform and prove
Uh,
your worth, or were they like
uh,
bring you in
it
like
was
with
it
open
was a little.
arms?
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I started off doing because I was lucky enough. I did a show when I was in high school. I did a show at this like a club, like a
Okay.
21 and over. Like it was like a bar. Like we went on stage, and after that we had to leave because we weren't even old enough. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Under
I did a show like I was like 16, 17. I was like in 11th grade, and I did like a show like at a bar.
That's
'Cause I was
crazy.
plugged in with a guy in Indiana, a dude named what's Ace Diamond. He went by Ace Diamond. His name
Okay.
Hop. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. He the first dude like introduced me to like a real studio. Like we was going to the studio, like paying like hourly studio rates like in high school. Like we were like going to professional studio, at least the most professional studio in Fort Wayne at the time.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
recording on like Avalon's, Neumann's, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's
in
pretty
high
cool,
school,
man.
you know what I'm saying? And he introduced us to that. So when
Okay.
we got plugged into that, like, cause I had a rap partner, you know what I'm saying? I was part of a group,
Yep.
started off part of a group in high school. So yeah, man. So the Love in Fort Wayne, it kind of was like, all right, I did that show. And then like, of course, in high school, I was like one of the only few people. It was like maybe it was a few other people. So like I said,
Okay.
like my homeboy H2 made beats. He had a cousin. One of his cousins went to our school, so like he produced too, and he made beats and he rapped and like you know. But it wasn't a lot of people with like beat machines that had music equipment or
Right.
like recording. Like I started off on a 4-track, like the Tascam tape 4-track. We used to hang the mic from the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? And we used to record on the 4-track tape. I used to rip it line in on the old HP computer. It sounded like shit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we burnt the CD. We took it to school. We sold it. You know, I had like a little. I had like the little printer labels with the sticker on it. We put the sticker on the CD. You
That's
know,
awesome,
but
man.
yeah, we did that, and then later on, I said after I got out of high school, that's when the shows I started doing more shows because I
Okay.
had buddies that was like in like some of my buddies that like went to college and moved to other cities. I had a buddy moved to Chicago. He's like, hey man, I can get you a show here. Hey man, I can get you a show over here. You know, but here locally, I kind of had to earn my stripes. I jumped on. It was like a group here called Hometown Hooligans. Like
Okay.
it was like a well-known group in Fort Wayne. You know, it's like, man, I want to say, I don't know how many of them is. It's a lot of them. They like a
Yeah, yeah.
Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as far as member size, you know what I mean?
Right.
But they used to always like put me on shows, me and my
That's
cousin
cool.
on shows, because we used to do shows together. And my cousin Grace, who introduced me to Illustrate. You know, like I said, I had an older cousin who was like part of the Fort Wayne rap lineage. You know,
Yep.
they had a group called Basement Heads. You know, and they were real big. You know, so I started doing shows then, and then it's kind of was like once I started doing shows with him, like they knew him. So they was like, you know what I mean? So I kind of walked in behind, you know, with him. So they was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? See what it is? Okay. And then it was cool. But I mainly did the shows I did. It was always awkward because the type of music I did.
Yeah.
You know, like when I started doing my solo stuff, I always did like my sound always been like there wasn't a lot of people around here locally doing the sound I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't
it'd be like I always
type
felt
stuff.
like right. It was never the party stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
that's
like
a good
somebody
point.
go up with some party stuff and perform. It'd be a whole night performers, everybody doing party stuff or whatever's in at that time. Then I go up just completely left. I mean, it'd be to the point where people like I could tell they like it. They'll look around. I catch them. They'll look around to see if anybody else like it before they actually act like they like it.
That's funny.
It's one of those things. Yeah, like it, I ain't gonna say followers, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, until you get somebody there who just don't give a fuck and be like, hey man, that shit's hard. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like that shit's hard, you know. And then a lot of the scenes here, it's like the local scenes, it's like a lot of the shows where it's a lot of people are there because they're here to support this artist.
Right.
You see that? I'm sure you've seen that too.
Yeah,
so when other artists go up that's not their friend or the person that they know, they like walk away or like, you know what I mean? Like they're just there. But when they homeboy go up, yeah, man, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I see that some of my shows too.
Yeah, I know. You know what? You know what I did? Like, I could have brought like a lot of people tell me, they be like, man, you had a show. How come you ain't tell me? You know, I'd be like, man, for one, it's not I ain't tell them, but I mean, I don't want to create that fake scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that. I want real people to, you know, I don't want it to be like, hey, yeah, I invited up. Everybody that was up front was liking my music or feeling my shit because I invited them.
Right.
That didn't seem real to me. You know what I'm saying? That did not seem real to me at all. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to create that fake image. Like, I felt like some people, not everybody was doing it, but some people were doing it, even though you want your people to support you. But I always loved going up there and then like not have, it'd be a crowd of people there, but not have nobody I brought there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my music or tell me after the show, hey man, that was dope. Or I like that. It felt more authentic. You know what I'm saying? Because of course your friend gonna tell you,
yeah,
hey,
that
man,
they love it.
Nice, even though it can sound like trash. Yeah, they're your friend. You know what I'm saying? No stranger's gonna come up to you and do that out of nowhere. You know, everybody, hey man, let me get an autograph. Or hey man, let me take a picture with you. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, like stuff like that, man. Excuse me, but stuff like that. It means more than having one person coming up to me like that. Mean more than having 1,000 people I know come up to me, dapping me down. You know?
Right.
I mean, it feels more real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying the people that know me don't support me or really like it, but it seems more authentic. You know, it seems more authentic. But yeah, I did the show.
Right. You are absolutely right, man. Your friends have to like your music, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I got the real ones though. I
No,
got
no, right.
friends that didn't tell me. Like I
You're
got a
right.
few of them like, yo, man, you need to come harder. Or that wasn't you, or you need to do that. You know, I got a few of them, but
Okay.
the majority, you know what I'm saying. You got a
But
lot of
yeah,
the people who just be like, yeah. I'm
yeah,
just gonna. I don't want to tell. I don't want to like, you know. I don't want to be. I don't want to be that friend. I know that's what he want to do. I'm just gonna support. 'Cause they want to support you. You're supposed to support your friends. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
that's right. No, no, that's a
But
good
I
point.
have no problem with criticism. You know. But yeah, I always been like the guy that was like, you know, left stream or whatever, like
Yeah.
you know, around the city. You know what I mean? Like I get shows and then uh shoot. Like I said, I'll be the only one doing that type of music unless I jump on the show with like Sankofa or something. Like
Right,
in that
right.
like it's a group of hip hop boom bap, you know, they got that sound. We all did shows together, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I used to jump on the odd shows too. Like I used to jump on the ones that was like people doing trap music
Oh,
or like
just
whatever
to
music.
perform.
Yes, you know,
Yeah,
I don't even care.
absolutely.
Yeah, because I remember we had some Source Award. It was like some Source Award or Vibe magazine came down. It was doing like a showcasing of the cities. And it was like whoever win this get an article in Vibe and get to go to New York or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I did that. And then I remember one dude did it and he was like, I met one dude out of Indianapolis. He ended up shooting. I don't know if you ever seen that guidance video. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I haven't known.
Yeah, I might send you, but he ended up doing the guidance video. But he met me at like even just to get to the finals. It was like 2 rounds. It was like
Wow.
a semifinal one day, then it was like a final. And he was like, "Man, dude, this sound like some Lupe Fiasco mixed with like DJ Premier." And like he's like, "Man, this is really nice, man." He's like, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
let's do you got a video?" Because he did camera stuff. So I ended up linking up with him. But at the finals of that vibe or whatever,
Yeah.
they judged like the winner was based off like crowd.
Oh,
It was
right.
like and so I didn't bring
Yeah.
nobody, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was like it went like, hey, you because you know I didn't rap over my lyrics, you know what I'm saying? I don't rap over my lyrics when I perform. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like I try to do that shit like the real way. You know what I mean?
Live,
Like
baby.
it's separate. Like when you get to the hook, when it's a hook, I had a hook there.
That's fine.
Catch up, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what
right.
they do. But like when it comes to the verses, like it's no doubling the lyrics, and you might as well listen to a CD. You know, people don't come to see that. You know, so
Yeah.
I did that. So after the show, whatever, dude was like, "Yeah, the winner is," and he said somebody else, and he was like, "Yeah, but yo, hey man, this dude, your stuff was nice." It was like one of those things. I'm like, all right,
You're like, damn,
all
why
right,
ain't win?
yeah, exactly. But he's like, we go to a crowd participate. You know, it was just like the
Yeah.
majority of it. You know, in Fort Wayne, a
Yeah.
small town. You know, I'm not trying to say like everybody's closed-minded or you know or anything to like the music or whatever. But I mean, like
Right.
I know my music. I know it got a certain it's just like almost like MF Doom. It's got a certain
Yeah.
flavor to it where it's like I have a certain crowd that's gonna like it. I
Yeah.
know that. It's not gonna majority. You know what I'm saying? And I'm comfortable with that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I kind of know what it's at, man. But yeah, it's still good. Like people know me around the city, you know, and I didn't know that. I didn't know how much influence I had until I be out, you know, and I see people, then they shout me out, or I see like a post or something, and then somebody
Yeah.
say something, you know what I mean? Cause like
Sure.
my mind, I'm just in the dungeon,
Yeah,
just
making
cooking
music.
up. And like I
Yep.
put stuff out, and I don't think people really see it. Like how you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I paid a lot of dues. You know what I mean? Like I paid
Sure.
a hell of a lot of dues. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned your style, and yeah, I think you're on point, man. You are a lyrical dude, and it was quite evident to me when I listened to Cola's Art, your album from 2022, and just
Yeah.
the title song Cola's Art, man. Holy cow, your ability to storytell is just phenomenal, man. What was going through your mind when you put that project together?
Man, when I put that project together, man, I don't know how what did I see? I seen you don't even want to know how long that project was even in
Oh,
thought
really?
of
It's so
before
good,
it
man.
came out. Like it
So
was
good.
like it was years in the making. I'm
So
talking about,
good.
and that was another thing. Like when I started on that project, it was like before when I had the idea, it was before my son was born. You know what I'm saying? My
Yeah.
son was born like 2012. Okay. When I,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
but my son got born, I was going to the studio. So I was like, all right, my son here, I can't really like go to the studio like that because I kind of want to be home. So I started like learning how to do stuff at home. And I
Okay.
didn't know the can of worms I opened up with like having your own studio
Oh my
and making
gosh.
it sound nice. Oh man, it took years of learning. Like self-taught, like the equipment, learning training your ear, it took years of just being able to record myself comfortably, and
Okay.
get everything set up and know how to do it and be confident with it and putting it out. But the colors art, like that album cover, I'm gonna say his name wrong. His name was Yamato. I forget his last name.
Okay.
He's an artist out of California that do like graphic novel covers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he done like real graphic, like you see at Barnes and Nobles or
Yeah.
whatever. Like I reached out to him, pay him, man. I paid that dude almost $1,000 for that cover. He drew it on
Amazing.
CGI. It was like, oh, I told him the idea. He's all right. I'm gonna make a spaceship to make it look like a boat with the water falling out. That was no AI. Like now you can
Bro.
do that stuff on look, now you can tell your computer to do that stuff. Now back then I told a human being and he created it.
That's
Okay. And I was like,
amazing.
I want to be like in a suit. I'm gonna have like the space feel to it with the water pouring out, you know what I'm saying? To feel like Noah's Ark, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that album, the concept was, Noah's Ark, he had clean creatures, he had dirty creatures, you know what I'm saying? And that album got a mixture of both in it. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
some grimy tracks in it, then there's some clean tracks in it to have, because that's the part of me. You gotta have that balance,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was trying to create that balance with that album. And that's why
Man,
that's why I named it that. And I kind of wanted to have fun and be
I love
creative
it.
with it. So I mean, that was like, I think that concept was like one of my best concepts that I like. I
Yeah.
mean, because whatever I like don't mean what the fan like. Like the fan might like, oh man, I think this is your best song. You know how it
Yeah.
be, and I'll be like, all right, I appreciate it, but I didn't
Yeah.
like that song that much. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I was as I was listening to Cole's, I was like, holy shit, dude, he's talking about building an ark and just the story of Noah's Ark, but in your form, I was like, man, this is freaking awesome, man. And man, I just really enjoyed that album, man. So it's wild to think that you were working on it that long, but I think it was well worth the wait, man. It was an amazing piece of
yeah.
work. Man.
Man, thank you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I sent that over to a guy named Matt Reifler to mix it, do like I think it's one track on there I think I mixed and had
Okay.
him like kind of master, but most of that was mixed and mastered by a dude here locally named Matt Reifler. Great dude, you know what I'm saying? Like great engineer, because like on that first song, Construct, I was a live drummer. Like I had a
Yeah.
live drum. There's a lot of live bass in there on some of the
Oh wow.
songs. Like one of my buddies is a live bass player in high school. So I had the luxury of like hooking up with him, sampling his bass. I was sampling bass guitars
That's
and making
crazy.
beats out of them in high school. And that just loop, you know what I mean? Like MIDI and that into my keyboard, my Roland JX 305. So
Man.
yeah, man, that Cola's art, it really means a lot to me. Because like right
Yeah.
now I don't have access to a live drummer right there. Right now I haven't done it in a while, but
Yeah.
because there's so many plugins out there. And then but like being around him, I kind of picked up tricks on how to like get away with making the drum sound real. Just like being around
Sure.
my friend that played my homeboy Rob, I watched him play the bass so much and then just see how he do his stuff. It's kind of like I picked up on his style and
Yeah.
I can like try to translate it onto the keyboard and onto the computer to try
Amazing.
to make it sound live. Because
Yeah.
I didn't heard him play
Yeah.
it like you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like I learned from everybody I work with, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got just a good run of singles too, man. And again, I told you I want to talk about the song real quick, which is Voltage, which you did that in 2023. And that's how I was introduced to your music. And then I think you produced a video too, right? Did you shoot
Yeah, I
that one?
recorded that video. Yep, I recorded that
Man,
video.
dude,
I did all the editing. Look, I wear a lot of hats, man.
I
And that's what
know.
takes so long.
Yeah.
Look, my buddy was telling me, he was like, man, you doing everything, man. You need to, and that was something I always did because I felt like if I didn't do everything, if I didn't do it, it's not gonna get done. And I didn't
That's
have a lot
right.
of people. It's not a lot of people like where I'm from, it wasn't a lot of people that was like um um uh seeing what I saw. Like my vision, I seen it and I believed in it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, I know I want it like this. How can I get it like this? I'm not accepting nothing unless it's like this, and I
Man.
did it, what I mean? Because I tried doing other stuff with like with the video stuff. It's hella people here in Fort Wayne. Not hella, it's a few people here in Fort Wayne that do it like 260. It's It's another Giante. I probably got messed up. Gente Media Group.
Okay.
He's another guy who did a video for me. They're excellent on the camera and editing.
Yeah.
But the ideas I be having, it's take days. Like that voltage took. I shot that like it took days. You know what I mean?
I believe
so
it,
it's
man.
like it took days versus like me being like, hey, I want to shoot a video today for like 5 or 4 hours, and then that's it. What if I don't like something? Now I gotta be like, hey, let's go back to this. But if I'm doing it, I got the luxury of saying, hey, I can go back here whenever I want to. It's my camera. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if I want to fix something, if I get to edit it and I realize a shot was wrong, I'm just gonna go back to that location and shoot it again.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot more convenient to me calling the video guy. Then I gotta wait. Now I gotta try to read. You see what I'm saying? And then he gotta re-edit it too.
Yeah.
Now he's spending more time going backtrack because I'm picky as hell. So I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm real picky. I'm like, yo, I don't like this right here. And then I'm like, I don't want to keep bugging him. I'm gonna keep it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want him to keep going back. So I was like, but if I know
that's a good point.
I'm gonna do it right the first time.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna see how I see it. It's not on them. It's just they don't see what I see.
That's right.
Same thing with the beats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it ain't that I don't like the beat, but this is what I hear to get my pen moving. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's not. That's all it is, man. And then I had to learn all that stuff, the video stuff, and I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Because the stuff I do, I try to focus. When I do the video stuff, I just try to make it cinematic. You know, like I got me and my guy Jay.
That's exactly what it is, man.
It looked like a movie. I want it to be like a movie. You know?
Sure was.
Yeah. Like a man telling his story. You know what I'm saying? You know, And I had the Frankenstein shots. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted people to feel like a man. You know what I'm saying though. You understand it when you seen it. You know, I wanted every scene to kind of mean something. You know.
Yeah.
And it was just me in it. It was like no girls. It was like not a lot of stuff. It was just me. I did one shot at the hotel. I did one shot by a viaduct downtown in Fort Wayne. I did a car scene, and then it was like a flicker of a shot at the end because I shot like at multiple locations, but some of the locations only used for some locations I used for like 3 seconds. Like I don't know if you noticed at the end of the video where it popped up actually voltage.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was at a location where like the lights flashed or whatever, and it came up. I was at a location. That was the only shot I used from that location.
That's crazy.
The whole video, and we shot there all night. We spent the whole night shooting here and only used 2 seconds. So you see what I'm saying?
Perfection, man.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? If I'd have asked a videographer, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I'm sitting here all night and we're not gonna use this. Like, you know what I mean? It would have been the budget of it would have been crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We're talking about like a 3-day, 4-day budget for a video like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't afford that. You know, so it would have been better for me to just do it and just take my time and then just do it how I want to do it.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. The video was dope, and the lyrics, man. Tony Sparks, nothing but sparks, ripped apart and tossed in the Shark Tank. I was in a dark place.
Yeah, that Shark Tank, because you know sharks be attracted to electricity. You know that, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't catch that.
Holy
you know what? When I said that, man. I was like, you know what? I was like, a lot of people probably not gonna catch that, but fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Bro,
like, you ain't making no sense. Yeah, but yeah, that's
fucking lyrics from start to finish, man. That's a song the whole world needs to hear, man. That was a beautiful piece of work, man.
It's only one verse. I don't think people know this. It's only one verse. And I did that on purpose because, like, I didn't want it to feel like a song. I wanted it to feel like a story. Movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
a movie.
Exactly
I wanted to build up and end, and then when it ended, it ended. You know, like if I'd have came back with another verse after that hook, it would have been awkward. And that was the thing. Like I tried to write another verse to that, but I summed so much stuff up in that one verse. You know what I'm saying? Where
it was deep.
It didn't make sense.
How long did it take you to write that verse? I mean, it was line for line.
I wrote that verse. I wrote that verse. It didn't. I wrote because I had another album called Immortality Schemes that came out in 2010. I don't know if you ever seen that one, but I had that album come out, and I used to write all my lyrics. I was like I'm what you call like a what's the word? I used to look it up. It's a like my brain is active subconsciously. Like I have to be doing something for me to be coming up with stuff. Like I wrote albums and songs at work. Like I used to be at work and just have my headphones on, and boom, I always kept a notepad in my pocket.
Okay.
And I'd be
Yeah.
working, doing something, just, something pop in my head. I write it down, write it down. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
wrote like a whole album at work. And I think that one I think I wrote most of that at work one day.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
It's
great.
very rare I write something from like start to finish, but I wrote that thing at work, and it was to like a whole nother beat.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of was skeptic on using that, because usually when I write lyrics, it's catered to that beat.
Yeah.
And it don't fit when you're trying to like put lyrics to a beat that you started on to another beat. It's like you forcing it.
Yeah.
But that one I was like, okay, this beat is the one. It fits to this one. It feels like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I might have a few more bars left.
Yeah.
To finish that up. And then the hook was like, man, the hook just came naturally.
Oh man, the hook is
the hook was more
wild,
like
dude.
a feeling. Yeah, I wanted the hook to be like a feeling. Like I was like getting upset. Like I was charged up. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to feel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And my homeboy always tell me, he was like, man, plug me in.
Yeah,
plug me in, my guy. He's like,
feel the whole
time,
man.
Bro, all the time.
The beat, and I can't believe you had different beats for that song, man. I can't hear it on anything else. I can't,
man. I got one that it could have fit on this album, but it was so like I had like a hard drive crash, and it was
I'm glad, because that song I can't hear it on a different beat.
Can't hear it on nothing else but that beat, huh?
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And just you're a gifted writer, man. Man, the two other songs that really like flip me out, and I just love the way you write, man. But your single "Fear, Uncertainty, Doubt" with Jay Womack, again, man, the feel was dope and the lyrics were sick. I wrote blueprints in my garage. As usual, they look at me now like, what you doing ain't suitable. All my life, I would never believe that bullshit. You see that bullshit? We don't need that bullshit, man.
Hey, man. Hey, look, man. I'll tell you. I was just talking to J Bo earlier today. He just told me, man. He was like, man, he just thinks. Look, he say that all that time, that garage line. I just heard that today. You know what I'm saying? He just told me. He just read that. He just spit that whole line to me earlier today. And that was one of them beats where it's like, I had that beat, and I was gonna I'll send it to somebody else, my homeboy Biz. Yeah. And he was like, man, I just can't write to it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, cool. And I was sitting on it because, you can't write to everything. I'm the same way too. Fair. You know what I'm saying? People will send me a beat. I love the beat. Yeah. And it's just like nothing come. You know what I mean? Fair. And I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn. So I already know. So I wouldn't hold nothing against him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we still got one project done that I'm on his album or whatever that he put out, I want to say last year. Jesus. But I had that beat sitting in. Then J Wo came over one day because I met him last year, man. Super gifted dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Super talented dude. Like he's in and out. Like he's in it. Like that verse, his verse, we wrote both our verse on that night. And I was forced to write my verse because he had it. I was going through stuff. Look, he come over because I was recording him at the time, because he coming out with a project, I got like stuff. We got stuff in the chamber, you know what I'm saying? But I was recording, and then like he was like, "Hey man, let me hear something, man." And I started going through my beats and stuff because he sampled too. We got the same taste in music, Okay. And I was going through something like, "Man, what are you doing with that?" And I was like, "Oh, you like that?" I was like, I kind of got a verse for this already. I already had the hook in my head, you know what I'm saying? That was one of them joints where like when I made that beat, I came up with the hook first. Like that hook, and it was empty, but it was a lot of space in it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Because I watch a lot of stocks and trade and do all that other stuff. And FUD is like a stock term. I don't know if you know, but FUD is a stock term. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I didn't. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You ever heard of that in stock?
No.
Like,
okay.
FUD,
that's awesome.
You know how they like pump a stock? How they say don't invest in this stock? It's gonna crash. That's FUD. You know what I'm saying? Like don't believe it. And then the next day the stock go up. And then the next day the stock go up, that's fear, uncertainty, doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Scared, you're not certain of it, you doubt yourself. And I just put that in like real life terms, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to have fear, you don't want to be uncertain, you don't want to doubt nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's FUD. You know what I mean? Forget all that. We don't need that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You go off your
We
own
don't need
intuition.
that
You know what I'm
bullshit,
saying?
man.
Hey, go off your own. But yeah, he had his verse. We did that song in one night. You know what I'm saying? That night. And it was
Freaking
dry.
great song,
like no
man.
ad-libs. That's a straight hip. That's the most like bare bones hip hop track I ever mixed, you know, and recorded. Because that was
That's a
just
great
straight
song.
raw. That stuff is just raw. You hear it.
It is dope.
It sounds raw. It sounds raw. So yeah, it's because if you notice, I got 12 bars on that. I don't even have 16 bars.
Yeah.
You don't even notice.
I wasn't counting.
You don't even notice. I got 12 bars on that. Because I was just like, man, I was like, man, I stumped it up. I'm the type of person like, man, you know, forget the rules. If it's there, it's there. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Good.
Let's rock with it.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it rocked. It rocked. So yeah, that's how that song came about, man.
Yeah, and the video was great.
Song.
Oh yeah, I love it, man. I think you sound really good with Jay Woe. And lastly, the last song I want to talk to you about is excuse me, is Masters of the Universe. Again, it's like he living in the afterlife, so much evil and people, they lack the bag of all light, so entice slice. Shyamalan night, because all I hear is bragging rights with shallow insights. Y'all went from charcoal to graphite to this iPad sit on my lap too tight. Well, y'all ain't shit with that battery. Like, God damn. Man, dude. I was like,
man, you know what? I wrote that. Man, I love them lyrics, man. I love that track, man. I love that track.
You put M. Night Shyamalan in your lyrics, man. That sounds dope.
Yeah, you know, and that was like it took me a while to write that joint. Like the two verses on that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I mean, to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like I love the verses on that joint. I like how that hit. I like how the bass hit, you know what I'm saying? Because that joint, I didn't even have no samples. I had just like, I just like did like a Moog. I got a Moog. I just like, you know, just played some stuff off the Moog sub 37, did the bass on the MP, you know what I'm saying? And then it just came out like that. But I love the low end on that song. That song is great. That's one of my, and you know what? A lot of people don't pick up like what you pick up, you know what I'm saying? You pick up that stuff. And I know, that's why I say I know my audience, you know what I'm saying? And I know it's catered to a certain ear. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's gonna be the technical person that listens to stuff like, whoa, what did he say? You know, what did he say that? Hold on, what does that mean? Because I mean, I came over listening to Ghost. I'm not gonna lie, I used to listen to Ghostface, like, what is he saying? Like what is witch hazel? Like, I didn't know what witch hazel was.
That's right.
So I'm in the store one day. I'm in a grocery store one day and I see witch hazel. And I'm like, this is what the fuck you talking. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love stuff that you learn. You hear something and then 10 years later pick up on what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love stuff like that, man. I love music like that, man.
Yeah.
Because I know it means something.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you're so good, man. Just really talented, man. And a lot of the stuff you say, man, you threw the first stone, I threw the first brick, different song. But man, I just really I really appreciate your ability in terms of being able to tell a story. And you're not writing basic raps, dude. Your raps are mad complex, lyrical, Talib Kweli, most def tip, man. Very, very complex, man. And
and thank you. I do that on I'm glad you said that because I was hearing people talk about like rapping like multi-syllabic and all this other stuff and all that other stuff. Like I try to rap like because a lot of the words I use be like unrhyming words. Like it'd be like they rhyme, but it don't rhyme. Like you hear Eminem do it too.
It's like Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem do it. It'd be like a part that rhyme, but it don't rhyme. But since this one part or how you say it rhymes.
That's right.
How you enunciate it. You can make a word and you enunciate it a certain way in a rhyme.
Yeah.
And then I try to do that. And then I try to do sentences too. Or like do 3 words or 4 words. Or like rap it. That's hard to do. To rap a sentence and then rap it like Royce the 5'9" do it like it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's certain people who just do it. Like Royce 5'9" Eminem, but Royce, he does it like it's nothing. Like he'll spit 5 words out, and then the next 5 words out rhyme with the past 5. Each word rhyme.
It's crazy.
You know, like if you stack them on top of each other, looking up, each word rhymes. You know what I'm
That's right.
saying? Like I kind of like that texture mixed with
Yeah.
another. And then sometimes I have simple stuff and then throw that in there. Like, damn, he
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
said something simple. Then he just came with something completely like he rapped for like he rapped 8 words and then like rhymed the word that he rapped like 10 words ago with the word that he rapped 3 words ago. And they
That's
all make
crazy.
sense 5 words back to back. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like stuff like that, man. Like I try to do that, man.
Yeah.
And it
That's
take time, man. Like I didn't start off rapping like that. No, that's
right.
like years. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Yeah.
years of me just sitting there like throwing away stuff and erasing stuff and being like, that's not good enough, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to, yeah, and I want to do that, man. I want to, as a fan, appreciate you for the time that you put in your craft, the time that it takes you to write these lyrics, man. It's not easy. And man, you're right, man. It's for a certain audience that just hangs on every word that you say. And man, it's a work of art, man. And I appreciate that, dude. I just yeah, I
Man,
love it,
I
man.
thank you. I thank you for reaching out, man. You know, like for
Yeah,
real, like this being on your podcast, man,
yeah,
this is great. Because I mean, because we just did because like we got some stuff coming. I don't want to say too
yeah.
much, but we just did a video shoot like Hollywood like a month ago for a
Damn.
project J Wo doing, and I think it's gonna be good, man.
I'm
It's gonna
sure
be a
it is,
movie.
man.
It's gonna be a movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you've seen little clips that I had like on my Instagram, just a little
Yeah,
snip. I don't want to put too much on, but yeah, it's gonna be a movie, man. We have like an actress, we had like a set, we had a makeup artist. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real nice. I wanted to make it look like a movie because like the idea and the concept and the lane that we going with, you know,
yeah,
just like the Hurts of art. You know what I'm saying? You got the
yeah,
Hurts, that's the music. You got the art, which is like more so the visual. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I want to make it feel like you can't have in order to feel my music, you gotta see a picture.
Yep.
You have to see it. You have to see it. You know what I
Love
mean?
it.
You have to see the art with it. You know what I'm saying? Or else we're
Yep.
not gonna completely get it. You know what I'm saying? I want you to
Yeah.
get because I'm not gonna lie, like I thought everybody did this, you know, when I was talking, I forget who I was talking to, but it was like, hey man, when you write your stuff, man, what what gets you to write or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I tell them I see it
Sure.
first. I
Yeah.
see it in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like I see it visually in my head, then I start writing. You know what I'm saying? So I see the movie. And so it's like
Yeah.
I make a movie first in my head, then I write to it. So
Man.
now I'm like, I see a movie in my head, I write to it. Now I gotta take what I write and put it to the movie I just made. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No.
I'm in the process of translating that and just getting better at that, you know. And you know, it's not even I don't think you need a lot. And that's what I think. Like I'm trying to like I look at myself like when it comes to the video stuff or whatever, I say I'm in the lane or more so in the lane of like of the Spike Lee type. Like less is more. Like I don't need
That's
all the CGI and all the extra graphic stuff. I just need if you pick the right angle and the right lighting and then the right, color scheme, very basic, simple stuff, but it's the selection. It'll
yes.
display more than just having a whole bunch of stuff just flash and switch around and everything. It'll set the tone more. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just like a painting. Sometimes paintings would be more so about the color selection than the actual detail in the painting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
That's a
I'm
good
I'm
point.
looking at like when I get to the video stuff, it's more so like the color selection.
The
You
picture
see
that
what
it
I'm
tells.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to focus on like
Oh,
the
I'm
color
sorry, the
selection.
story that it tells.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Because
yeah,
anybody can do all the crazy stuff,
yeah,
but some people don't know how to put the colors together.
yeah.
See what I'm saying?
That's
The
right.
colors matter. You know what I'm saying? The
Oh, that
colors mean more than the detail. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Voltage, the colors from the
Yes.
footage. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
wouldn't look right if it was a bright video, man. So yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. The tone of it. Everything was
yeah,
dark. Everything was kind of dreamy. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, yeah, man, you get it. You get it. You get
I
it.
love
And
it, man.
that's exactly what I'm going with the video stuff, man.
Yeah, well, hey, man, I think you're talented all around, and I know I love that you're still getting out there to perform. I saw that you opened up for Killer Priest a couple months ago, but man, just with
Yeah.
music and family, man, and all the work that you put into that, and just life in general. Where do you find time to have like? What do you do for fun when you're not making music? or anything other
Uh,
than that, man?
Shoot, go to my son's soccer games.
I
My
love
daughter's
it.
and look,
That
and they
life,
both
man.
won. Look, man, my daughter, she won. They won. She in middle school, but they won the state championship. I mean,
Oh,
not the
man.
state, their middle school division. The middle school
Sure,
division. They won
sure.
last year too. They've been undefeated. They won
Yeah,
in the past 2 seasons of soccer. They only
yeah.
lost like 2 games.
Ah, that's
Like
great, man.
and girl soccer, yeah. So yeah, she been playing more, man. Like she scored at least a point or two a game.
Oh, that's
So
fun,
they
man.
won that, and then my son just had one. He had like he played year round soccer.
Yeah.
He just had like a tournament out of town, and they won their tournament. So and it was a great feeling, man. This is like they both,
Ah, that's fun, man.
yeah. So yeah, it's just soccer practice, man. Besides that, work, music, doing this stuff and what cutting the grass. I mean, everybody cut the grass, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how
Oh,
I balance
good.
it, man. That's how I have fun with it, man. I mean, I love
Yeah,
my kids. They motivate me. I try to motivate them.
I
And that's
love
and
it.
that's one thing with this music. Like I can't. Like, I tried giving this up. But I can't get this up, man.
No,
I can't. Like you know what I mean? Like you come.
yeah,
Some people come to a certain point where they're like, no, I can't. Like this. Like some people don't know they calling. You know. Like I know
sure.
this is my calling. You know. So
Yeah,
I have to do this. You know what I'm saying? If I don't do it, what I look like telling my son, hey, you can't give up on what you doing. But you
yeah.
see, his dad did.
Good,
Dad
good
got a
point.
whole studio, all this stuff, this talented, and didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I look like telling him,
Yeah,
hey man, you believe in yourself, you got to do it, and I'm not doing
yeah,
it. You know, it's not
man.
gonna make sense. So
That's wild, man. I think I hit that crossroad just recently, man. Was where I was like, man, if I don't ever want to get to a point where in life where my daughter saw me stop trying to do what I love to do, man. You know, just kind of give up on life and just
yeah,
yeah. So man, you're right, man. Just your passions and stuff, and I just don't want to
you
set
gotta
that
keep it.
example, man. Yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
myself
I mean,
doing that, man.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
people like we all know people that like tell their kids like, yeah, or I was gonna do this and then you were born, so I quit doing it. You know what I'm saying? What kind of
right,
shit is that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
yeah, I was doing it, but I stopped doing it because I had raised a family. No, man, no,
Yeah,
no, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You
find
can't do
balance,
that.
man.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. I'm not gonna be one of those people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
No, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I was doing this. You was born, so I went. I did it more. I
yeah,
went harder. You know what I'm saying? You know what
yeah.
I mean? So I can show you
That's
that
right.
you can't get. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna. If you don't quit, it's gonna pay. That's all it is. You
That's
just
it.
can't quit.
That's
That's all it
funny,
is,
man.
man. Stuff just don't happen because you know what I'm saying. It just wasn't meant to happen. It happened because you gave up.
That's right.
That's why.
Yeah,
No matter what area you is, I mean, granted, it happened faster than some other people, but guaranteed it will happen if you don't give up. I
yeah.
mean, it's just that simple, man.
I,
Yeah,
I love it, man.
re-strategize. You might have to
Yeah,
go back to the drawing board and like do different tactics, but that's part of it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Trial and error. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Einstein with the chalkboard. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with an equation. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
sir.
You know how many times he erased that shit and started from scratch?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You don't see him erase. That's the thing. We don't see you don't see how many times he erased it though.
That's
We
right.
just see the finished equation.
Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm
Either
saying?
he,
We just see the finished equation. We just see that picture of that equation on that chalkboard and think he just did that. No.
yeah,
You know how many times he erased that chalkboard?
or he
Yeah,
almost
man.
gave up, man. Yeah, exactly.
Right. He probably threw that chalkboard away a couple times and got it back out the trash can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like the hell with this.
hell
But yeah,
yeah.
we don't see that picture. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Of the chalkboard in the trash can.
that's
Or him
right.
pulling his hair out. That's why
Yeah.
his hair looked like that. He probably was pulling that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know
so
what I'm
man,
saying?
it's good
Yeah.
to know that I'm not alone, man, and it's a similar feeling. So, hey, so with that, thank you again. I want to close the interview with just some fun questions, just some lighthearted ones, and then we'll get this out,
Yeah.
man. But hey, man, Cola Zone, I'm a big guy on humor, and so I'm curious, man, what your sense of humor is like. What's your favorite comedy movie of all time?
Oh, favorite comedy movie. I'll say it's probably hey, I like a lot of comedy movies, man. 'Cause I like a lot of horror movies, man. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a horror movie fan. But
Okay,
comedy movies, I say like I don't know. I like kind of like the Big Lebowski. That's
okay,
the Big Lebowski's a good one. I'm an
yeah,
'80s guy, so I say like I like a lot of the I liked a lot of the Corey Haim movies, like the
Okay.
License to Drive. Like,
All
remember
right.
License to Drive?
Yep.
When
A
he took
long
his
time ago.
mom, his
Yeah.
parents' car and shit, like Ferris
Yeah.
Bueller. Like, I like a lot of those old, like Ferris Bueller's
Classics.
Day Off.
Yeah. Ferris Bueller's.
Let me
Yep.
try. Yeah, I like the classic comedy movies, man.
Okay.
Big, what was that called? Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Uncle
Chevy Chase
Buck,
is awesome.
Uncle
Uncle Buck.
Buck,
Yep.
Uncle Buck. You know what I'm saying?
Candy.
Like my sense of humor is like, yeah, around that area. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Will Ferrell, bro.
Yeah.
Like Anchorman and all that stuff. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. I love Will Ferrell, bro.
All right,
But
man.
yeah, and then I
Oh,
say, yeah, as far as comedy, you know.
okay. I love it. Good, all good movies, man. All right. Hey, I want to know. I'm always interested in the local scene and local culture. Tell me your favorite slang word that is local to Indiana.
Oh, I know one. I don't know if they still use it. I say uh wet.
What?
Yeah, getting wet. Like when you
Oh,
hear that, when you say, "Oh man, I'm about to go get wet, man," or "I was wet last night." What is that here? I didn't know that,
to
so I
me
went
that mean.
somewhere else.
Does
Yeah,
that
what do you
mean
think that means?
drinking? Does
Yeah,
that mean drink having a drink of alcohol?
yeah. You heard
Okay.
that?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I didn't know. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I
Have
haven't
you
heard
heard
it
that
in a
before?
while.
Okay, right. But you heard that? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. That's okay. See, I didn't. When I was going places back when that came out, it was like, man, we don't even know what are you talking about? Because
Right.
out
Right.
west, like wet mean like I think PCP. You know,
All right. Right.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
think that's what wet means. So I mean, I say what's the word? It's a few other slang words, man.
That's a good. I haven't heard that one
Uh,
in a while though.
like
Actually.
dope. I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't think it's really a lot of new ones that's like
Yeah.
besides like the older ones, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's a lot of new ones, man. Cause we pick up our stuff from like I think a lot of our slang come from like Chicago, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of our slang kind of migrate from
Sure.
Chicago and then a little bit from the East Coast, you know.
Yeah.
And then from because we Midwest, so we kind of
That's right.
like we got everybody slang. Like
Yeah.
if you really think about it, like
From both
where we
sides.
live at, that's just like people from Chicago, like being Midwest, like you can come out like an artist from the Midwest, like can come out sounding like anybody,
Sure.
and it's acceptable. You know what I mean? Like think of Common from Chicago,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if Common said he was from New York, you would be like, all right, you'll believe it.
Yeah. Just like Kanye West, man.
Exactly,
Yeah.
perfect example.
Yeah.
Kanye West, he from Chicago. If he would say he was from New York, you'd be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know
That
what I'm
makes
saying? I
sense.
can hear that.
Yeah.
You know,
And I thought you were from Chicago, man.
see, is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like Midwest. Yeah. Indiana's Midwest, but I just associated Chicago. I was like, oh, he must have moved to Indiana. But then in the beginning, you were like, I was born here and raised in
Yeah.
Indiana. So yeah, that's right. That's a
So
good point, man.
yeah, it's like a melting pot here, man.
Yeah.
It's like we influenced by like I say everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's not like and it's not looked upon like you have to be have a well, if you want to be because I know like a lot of the trap sound and all that's
Yeah.
in trendy's gonna be in trendy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
it's like doing music locally, nobody like forces you to pick a lane. If you
Okay.
don't want to pick a lane, you know, you can kind of just do what the hell you want to do. And people just be like, okay, he doing this type of music, even though it sounds like it's from this coast, don't nobody care. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
As long as it sound good, kind of, you know. I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean,
That's a good point. Well, hey, here's my final fun question for us. Hey, are
all
you
right.
a basketball fan by any chance?
I like playing basketball. I don't watch basketball a lot, man. I
Okay.
haven't watched basketball since like really like back when like Michael was like I
Okay.
was like an old school. Same thing with football. I haven't really watched like last
Yeah.
football. I watched the Super Bowl because I was a 49ers fan, but that
Right.
came from Joe Montana. You see
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like I watched that game because my earlier child, it was just something a part of me. Just like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sticking with the 49ers because that's my childhood. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I really don't watch a lot. I really don't watch a lot of sports unless it's like my kids playing a sport, you
That's
know.
right.
But yeah,
So this question might work then. So hey, so do you find yourself following basketball a little more specifically the Indiana fever with Peyton Clark going over there? Are you following all that now, or is it still not really? Doesn't really hit your
Not
radar at all?
really.
Okay,
Not really. Not
okay.
really, man.
I see that
I
all
work.
over.
Look, I ain't gonna lie, man. I don't look. I haven't. Look, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't even watch TV, man. Like I haven't
Yeah,
watched TV. Look, like
that's
man,
true.
like that's where both like last summer, like I was just so on just a whole nother like path. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, don't you know how you like leave your TV? Like, you know how you have your TV like on Netflix or whatever,
Yeah.
or like,
Yep.
and
Just
it
leave it
got
on.
the screen. It got the screen that like it showed the previews. I
Yeah.
think I left it on so long it burnt the image of like a preview. Like on my TV, but I was cutting it off, but like it was on, it popped up and cut it on so many times.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of TV, which is bad. I need to watch the news, but I mean, but being on social media and stuff, you kind of catch the news.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
True.
saying? You catch what's going on in the world off social media, whether you like it or not. It's gonna
Yeah.
pop
Yeah.
up. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying? Then I get
that's
the
true.
Apple News or whatever. But like, far as like, I go take my kids to the movies. I
Yeah.
mean, other than that, like, I really don't watch TV or
No.
basketball games or nothing,
Hey.
unless it's like a championship game or something.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I know you're using your time wisely, man. It's quite evident, man. So
Yeah,
awesome.
that's what it is. I'm at the point where I gotta like really, it's time management. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a time and a place, and I feel like, yo, I feel like I'm wasting time watching a
Yeah.
whole bunch of stuff that's not really giving me. I'm not learning. Like I watch a lot of YouTube
That's
tutorials or
right.
something. If it's something educational,
Yeah.
like when I was a kid, I used to like watch, me and my buddy John. We used to watch like
Yeah.
History Channel all the time. We
Sure.
used to get high and watch the History Channel. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to do all that shit, man. And it was like it was cool. You know what I mean? You learning something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's, I'm always big on like I watch anything if I can learn something from it,
Yeah.
or if I can use it in my life where it translates in my life and I can use it as a
Yeah.
tool in my life, whether
Yep. Yep.
spiritual or more like intellectual.
Yep.
Those are the things I like watching.
Okay.
I
Very
listen
cool,
to a
man.
lot of motivational stuff. You ever heard of Eddie Pinero?
I have not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome,
check him
huh?
out, man.
Okay.
Yo, yeah, oh yeah, Eddie Pinero, check him out, man. He do like a lot of motivational. He just have a different take and
Yeah.
outlook on life and how he translates it. Yeah,
Okay.
like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like strategize. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like strategy. If something don't work, that don't mean it's not gonna work. You gotta go about it a different way. You
Just
know what I'm
figure it
saying?
out.
So like,
Yeah.
yeah, just figure it out. Just like working on your car. You can do that with the same concept. You can use it in
Yep.
life.
I
Life
love it,
is
man.
you go about your life like that too.
Brilliant, man. Well, hey, man. I just again I wanted to appreciate the time that you gave me to get into your life and into your music. Like I mentioned, man, after I heard Voltage, man, I was an instant fan, and I love everything that you do. I find you to be a very talented dude that is amazing with production, music, and just videography. Everything that you do, man. I'm just a big fan of your work, and it was an honor to do this interview. I appreciate your time, brother.
I appreciate you too, man. Straight up,
Yeah.
man. We're gonna be on the lookout. Next project, like I said, me and J Will got something cooking up. We probably gonna drop a. We are not probably. We are dropping an EP this summer. We gonna drop that, and he gonna be slowly dropping tracks.
Easter eggs, man.
We just doing singles. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
love
We
it.
just gonna hit y'all with singles. We just gonna do singles, yo. You know what
I
I'm
think that's
saying?
great.
Like the album thing is the album, yeah, or whatever. Some people do it, some people don't. We just gonna keep consistent with singles, man. So yeah,
Oh,
we got some projects in line for this summer, man.
well, good
Hopefully,
deal, man.
after the video get edited in like a week, you'll be seeing it. I
Yeah.
just talked to the guy. His computer crashed, man. So
Oh,
it was one of those things, yeah, where he didn't lose things, but he just had to start over on another computer.
oh,
He
man.
didn't lose the footage, so he had to just start from scratch on another
That's
computer,
great.
man.
That's good
But it's
news.
gonna be great. I'm keep yeah. I'm gonna keep you locked in, man. Keep you locked
Please,
in on
man.
it.
Hey, I look forward to following everything that you do and just your musical career from that point or back when I first discovered you and on. So with that, hey, thank you again for your time. I look forward to sharing this interview, man. Take care.
Uh, you too, man. Peace out, man.